We're in the A-Main Hobbies indoor pit area here at Silver Dollar. We've got Barry Baker, not only one of the elder statesmen on the team, but also in Modified this weekend, and yet you're in the top 10, I believe, in four-wheel and 11th in two-wheel after 2 rounds.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah. You think that's just you having a lot more experience than some of these kids, so it's easier for you to adapt to these track conditions?
No, I think it comes down to pretty much a lot of preparation. I've been doing a lot of practicing. I know you know that I've been down in San Diego a lot, running at SDRC, and then I do a lot of practicing at OCRC because Nick Black and Robert Black, I actually race for them, and I go down there and they really support me, which is really nice. I mean, me being a little bit older and than the young kids, and still being able to do this, having a full-time job that I work at, 9-10 hours a day, and then still being able to race, I really appreciate it. And then, luckily, the start of last year, Marty took a chance with recommendation from Richard Saxton at first, and Marty brought me onto the team, and I'm still here to this day. So obviously, I'm lucky enough to still, be around, which is really nice on the A-Main team.
And you ran, you were very successful in on-road racing for a number of years.
Yeah, not so much more.
Not so much. But now that we're starting to see, the off-road races, a lot of them are starting to prepare the track differently, a lot higher grip. Do you think that any of that experience crosses over?
Yes and no. I mean, I know that, in touring car, you got to drive a nice smooth line. You can't saw the wheel. You got to be nice and easy, or, there's going to be issues. Out here, it's a little bit different. Yeah, you can't saw the wheel. You have to be nice and easy. You have to make the car easy to drive. Yeah, you still have to make it aggressive, but, there's little nuances to off-road where you got to lock the car up, you got to bind the car up off of jumps, you got to get into the corners differently, you got to set the car into the corner and then accelerate out of it. You accelerate too much, you pull a wheelie. So I mean, there's a fine line on this track especially that you can underdrive it real easy and you can overdrive it even easier. So it's just one of those things that it's I put it to driving a 12-scale car with way too much sauce on the front tires.
And that's something that we were talking about earlier today, that it's really just about being patient, because you're saying the track makes the car so aggressive that you're really just kind of trying to get it around the track.
Yes, and I mean, the patience is one thing, but you can get stuck behind a car real quick. Yeah. I know the first round, Chad Dew made a mistake in, what was it, four-wheel or two-wheel? I think it was four-wheel. Got behind me, and he was a little bit faster for a couple laps, but I mean, he made like 2 or 3 mistakes. He started like 4 cars ahead of me, made 2 or 3 mistakes, fell back, right? And then I got in front of him, and then for 2 laps, he's like pushing me. What do? Do I let him go by so he can make another mistake, or do I wait for 2 laps for him to make another mistake, which ended up happening on the following lap? But if I would have wiggled or got out of shape, I would have let him go. Well, in two-wheel, the same kind of thing happened where 2 cars in front of me made a mistake, pulled right up on him. I mean, I was flying at the start of the two-wheel run, and they weren't letting me go because they think that, okay, I'm going to make a mistake. Well, what ends up happening is I end up making a mistake, and then after the run, they're like, oh, I made a mistake, and I just wanted to get into a rhythm. I'm like, dude, if you get into a rhythm behind me, I'm going to let you go. That's just, that's the experience. Because on this track, if you make a mistake and you get behind somebody, most of the time, not everybody is making clean runs.
Sure.
So it's, I mean, you watch all these guys go out there, and I mean, the best guys out there are still making mistakes. This track is very, very difficult. It is very difficult with as high bite as it is, and the off cambers and the flying down into 180s. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, the layout's fun. The layout is so fun. It's so fun to drive. It's awesome, but it still is very difficult. I mean, you just got to make it easy. And me being an old guy, I make my car pretty much. I think anybody here could drive my car. I think I could go pick up somebody from Home Depot and they could drive my car. It's that easy to drive, but I had to make it that way. It's not the fastest, but it's damn consistent.
And you're saying that the cars that you've been working on, one of the perks of racing for A-Main Hobbies is being able to run anything that A-Main Hobbies sells.
Right.
So you're actually running 2 different cars this weekend. What are you driving?
Well, we went through this with Live RC, and I'll go through it here. For a year, I've been running the Yokomo stuff.
Yeah.
I started using it at last year's Nationals. and I wanted to, continue to use their stuff, but their car was a little bit flexy and on a high bite track, and then, I tried to contact them and not really getting in contact with them coming to the Nationals, and I had to make a decision. What am I going to run? They came out with an aluminum chassis and everything, but I never got it.
Sure.
I had to find out from Europe that they even had new parts. So it was one of those things where, I know they've been really busy, and the team manager, Robert's, been all over the place worried about touring car, and we have a world championship this year, and I mean, they just won the Japanese Nationals with touring car. They just won the Euros with touring car. So they just won the ETS with touring car. So touring car is a big deal for them. Off-road, they're trying to make some changes, and Nyato's going, but I couldn't run the current car that they had. So I had to make a decision. I decided to run a mid-motor Kyosho car. Right. Because of the aluminum chassis, and then I'm also running a B44.2 with the Avid conversion kit on it, which is the aluminum chassis conversion kit that Avid makes with the weight distribution centers. And I mean, with the Kyosho car, I started with a pretty basic setup from Kevin King. Down in San Diego. He gave me a basic setup. I tried his setup and I made little changes from it. Then Drew Moeller and I went to West Coast one day, and then we went to OCRC the next day, and I kept making changes on his car. He said it was better, so I started just putting maximum traction in the car, in the rear end of the car. And he liked it, I liked it. He's doing quite well here also, so it's good to see that, setup wise, they transfer over. And but I mean, as far as four-wheel drive, I talked to Kurt Winger from Avid, and I said, hey, what's a good starting setup? He gave it to me. I went and drove it, hated it. But I mean, we drive different.
Right.
He literally drives like Miss Daisy most of the time, but he doesn't ever make a mistake. He just drives around the track, and I mean, that's why he's always does well, and his designs are really good. I mean, what him and David Jor have done at Avid are awesome. So I'm running that chassis, and I made some changes to that, and talked to the Associated guys. Got a basic, little setup, Mayfield's Cactus Classic setup. Went with that, then changed a little bit from there, just on stuff that to make it easier to drive.
Right.
And it's working out quite well. I mean, I borrowed my car from my boss, who races RC cars also, and
nice.
He's from Canada. He's a professor from Canada, and he's a professor at Caltech, and me being lab manager at Caltech. So I didn't have a car, and he's all, just run my B44, and then I go, we'll put an Avid chassis on it, we'll do this, we'll do that, right? And he said, there's one stipulation. I said, what's that? And he goes, you got to run my body.
Oh, no.
So I have the O Canada body, because it's a Canadian flag painted up. It's got his, his nameplate and, his name sticker on it. I told him I got to re-decal it because the decal job was horrible. But I'm actually running the O Canada body in four-wheel. So I mean, we have the normal finisher, paint job by Bender's Bodies, and everything that looks awesome, on my two-wheel and everything. But yeah, I'm running the O Canada four-wheel body.
So if you make the main tomorrow night, does that mean that
actually, what the deal I made is if I win four-wheel, I'll change my paint scheme to O Canada. But I have to win four-wheel. I think I'm pretty safe.
Yeah, your paint job is safe for another week.
I think 5 cars would have to blow off the track, and I might have a shot somewhere. 5 transmissions, whatever. But yeah. But other than that, that was the deal I made, is I'll change my paint scheme to O Canada if I win four-wheel.
Well, I think we're all going to have our fingers crossed for that.
Wow. I've had that paint job since like 1994 or something like that. So
I remember.
Yeah. So Andy's paint job, Andy's bodies came up. Andy Jacobson came up with that paint scheme, and it's had different changes throughout its life. But the icicles off the back, the fire from the front. I mean, that's just my whole personality. Fire and ice. There is no in between. There is no in between. I'm either fired up or I'm happy as can be. There is no middle of the road with Barry. It's kind of funny. I guess that would be bipolarism. I don't know. I think it's tri. I have a third somewhere. So.
Well, you've had a lot of people fired up watching you run this weekend. I'm personally pulling for you. Good luck.
Thanks. I mean, I'm trying really hard, and I'm having fun, and I'm keeping, I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm enjoying racing. I tried to make a new attitude, I've tried to do it 47,000 times, but I mean, I really put forth an effort to it, the last few weeks, where I just said, it's 10 scale.
Yeah.
I'm going to practice for 10 scale. I'm going to get really, into 10 scale. I'm not going to run anything else, even though I ran my 4-wheel short course last weekend because it was a not series race. But I'm going to run a 10 scale, and I'm gonna get back into 10 scale. And I'm going to drive it. We have a world championship, and my boss is, I have vacation time, and he's letting me take the time off to come race and have a good time. I mean, this is the first serious vacation time I've taken. I think I have like 140 hours or 160 hours of vacation time saved up. So yeah, I mean, 2.5 years at Caltech, they have great benefits, so everything, it just keeps adding up, and I'm like, oh sweet, I'll go racing. So, and I mean, it's lucky enough, Kendall and Marty, with A-Main, Marty calls me every major race and says, can you go to the race? I check, sorry, I can't go. We're too busy here. I have different projects, but I made sure at the start of the year, of telling my boss, I said, I'm going to the Nationals and I'm going to the Worlds. And he goes, okay. So, yeah, I mean, he's over in Germany right now, and I mean, hopefully he's watching live RC, so it's, he'll see that his 4-wheel is doing quite well. Oh, Canada. So.
Oh, Canada. Well,
exactly.
Good luck not only in 4-wheel this weekend, but also with that 2-wheel drive.
Yeah, I mean, my 2-wheel's really good. My 2-wheel's awesome. I mean, it all comes down to me. I mean, both my cars feel great. Both my cars are driving around great. My LRP power is awesome. I mean, it's got, really good feel to it. So it's one of those things where it just comes down to me. And I mean, whether I do well, whether I don't do well, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shooting, like I tell all the guys, all the youngsters, I said, I hope I can just qualify 10th in one of the classes so I can make the Reedy race and cause havoc in January.
Well, we'll be looking forward to that if that happens.
No, I mean, that's just what it is. I just want to have fun and enjoy myself, and if I don't make the mains, I don't make the mains, but I think I've driven pretty well so far, and I think I'm getting good practice for the Worlds, and I think if I just keep practicing this and just keep realizing that, go out there and enjoy yourself. Don't get upset. If you crash, you crash. If you get crashed, you get crashed. I mean, I've been up on the stand like these guys are like, dude, I heard you up there laughing. And I'm like, what can you do? I went to the end of the straightaway yesterday in practice and barely turned the wheel and looked like Mary Lou Retton on the floor exercise. For all you youngsters out there, it was a gymnast back in the 80s, I think, was Mary Lou Retton, little girl. She flipped up in the air, yeah. So, yeah, that was for all the youngsters out there. But Google it. So, Google her. But, yeah, and I mean, it was just, the car took a set and all of a sudden looked like a springboard just up in the air and started doing it. And I was just laughing because I literally barely turned the wheel.
Perfect.
And just caught one of those little flakes or something, or who knows. Yeah. But then I changed my car back to the way I was trying something, and I'm like, doesn't work.
Not good.
Yeah, but that's what practice is for.
Yep.
I like the way everything's been structured up here. A-Main's done an awesome job with the facility. Kevin did a great job with the track, so can't complain, and just go out and have fun. And I mean, just enjoy this. I mean, at an off-road race, this is the first time in maybe a year that I've been interviewed by anybody. I got interviewed by Live RC after the first round, get interviewed by you. Dude, if you're getting interviewed, you're doing good, I think. Exactly. So that, or you did something stupid, and they're like, what'd you do? Oh, well, I did this and I did that. But no, I just want to have fun. Hopefully you do well
again tomorrow. We'll talk to you again.
Yeah, if I do well tomorrow, I do well. If I don't, I don't. But you know what? I have 2 okay runs in a 4-wheel, which puts me like 6th right now, but I don't think that those 2 runs will even come close to holding up.
Sure.
I think I need to get like a 5 or 6 in 4-wheel tomorrow in one of the heats. I think I'll be securely in the main. That's just my guess. Maybe towards 8, 9, or 10 in that main. 2-wheel, I have a 10th. I think I need a TQ around. But no, I think in 2-wheel though I can put in even better runs. Cool. I just need to get the luck factor on my side. But that's the way it is. You make your own luck, and if you keep a good attitude, luck usually finds your way home.
Well, hopefully it finds you tomorrow. Thanks for the interview.
Thanks, Aaron.